sakes.
Well, I just want to say good morning to everybody who is on. You know, we do this training every Saturday, and the purpose of this training is to just get you back to the basics of how to build this business. This business is one of those that just taking the steps every single day that need to be taken to build it. And we have a couple fantastic guests with us today. And one of them that we're going to bring on right away, we've got Angela Corbett. She is our regulatory compliance manager. And I think a lot of people don't really understand what compliance is and why compliance is so important in our business. You know, Relive is over 30 years old. We've been squeaky clean, but there's a reason we are. And so Angela, you know, without a lot of further ado, what I would love to do is have you come on, just share, you know, your experience, you know, how long you've been with Relive, you know, your role with Relive. And then we can ask you some questions about compliance. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, good morning. Absolutely. Can you hear me okay?
We've got you.
All right, great. No, thank you so much for having me. I really do appreciate it. And, you know, I don't want to put everybody back to sleep by boring them with compliance this early in the morning. So I'll do my best. But I have been with Relive going on 24 years now. And I actually started back more in the manufacturing, research development, quality control area, working as an executive assistant, and just kind of worked my way up through, you know, the company doing different things. So right now I actually handle not only product information and compliance, but also regulatory as well. And that just means getting our products approved in the other countries that we operate in, and making sure that our labels remain in compliance as well. So it's, you know, a lot of different back and forth with our research and development team, and, you know, working closely with quality control as well. I guess I took over compliance back in kind of the end of 2017. And it was definitely eye-opening. I kind of knew, you know, what was going on a little bit, but once I really sunk my teeth into it, it was definitely, you know, eye-opening, and I had a lot to learn, and I'm still educating myself a lot on compliance every day. Things have changed over the years. What we used to say, we just can't say anymore. I pulled out I don't know if everybody remembers the old lifestyle magazines that we used to send out, but I actually pulled out an old one a couple weeks ago and just could not believe what we had on the front. You know, and of course at the time it was compliant, but like I said, things have changed. So, you know, I spend a lot of my day compliance-wise working with our marketing team and just making sure that every material that they are sending out is compliant. And then a lot of the rest of my time is spent surfing social media and just trying to make sure that our distributors are staying in compliance.
So kind of, I think it'd be good if you could even define what we mean by compliance, because I don't even know, not every distributor, I think, really even understands what we're talking about when we say that it's in compliance.
Compliance, simply put, just saying, you know, what you're allowed to say versus what you're not allowed to say. And the rules are not set by Relive, but by the FDA, the FTC, and the Direct Selling Association. So whether it's making an income claim or a product claim, those are the kind of things I'm looking for. And, you know, I've tried to stress this to people because sometimes compliance isn't always a fun job. It's not fun to contact a distributor and say, hey, I need you to take your post down, you know. Yes. You know, I have to be the bad guy, and that's not always fun. But at the end of the day, it's not to, you know, scold somebody for saying the wrong thing. It's to protect them and to protect Relive. Because if I can find it, I guarantee, you know, the FDA, the FTC, they can go out there and find it.
So, and that's what I love what you're saying right there. It's to protect us so we have a business down the road.
Yes, exactly. I mean, you know, we want to remain squeaky clean. We don't want to be shut down. We don't want to receive a fine or a, you know, a notification that we've done something wrong or a distributor has done something wrong. We have to work as a team, both corporate and distributors together, to make sure we're all compliant.
So Angela, you send out, I know we get every so often, we get the emails and stuff, and I don't know if it's a blog you do or exactly what it is, because I'm not technologically savvy, but you send out actually compliance and how we can share. If you can share a little bit about what you're doing there and how often that comes out, and then what distributors can do to use that when they're going out to share Relive.
Yeah, we're trying to do a monthly eblast. I'm not sure if we're going to have one this month or not, but it's just something new we've started this year. And the whole point of that was really, as I stepped into this role, it kind of was like, wow, distributors are saying these things. Why? And come to find out, there really hadn't been a lot of training in the field, and that's on corporate. So, it's our job to make sure you guys know what's compliant and what's not. So the whole point of that eblast is just to be proactive, to show the FDA, the FTC that yes, we are trying our best to educate our distributors and get the word out there on, how they can promote their business the compliant way. And I'm hoping that I really try to keep them short. I don't want to lose my audience. It's not a very exciting topic as it is. So just try to keep it short and sweet, in hopes that somebody's reading them and something just clicks like, oh, yeah, I can't say that I made, $10,000 last month. Just little nuggets that I want them to take away when promoting their business.
Well, I know there's a sheet too that you can get out of your downline organizer. What's the name of that? Because what we have found, like Katie Moore and I were talking, and some of us others who are doing social media were talking, and that sheet is fantastic for verbiage.
Yes.
Can say, and you'd be surprised at what we can still say to share the hope of Relive. So share a little bit about that so people can learn where to find that.
Exactly. I think that's under the compliance training on the certification that we're offering. There are links to 2 documents, one of do's and don'ts. So what you can't say, but what you can say instead. And then another sheet that offers the flaggable phrases, the terms that the FDA and the FTC have deemed high risk. So if you're using those phrases, you're most likely going to be caught. So it's a great resource. It is out there. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback on it, which has been wonderful.
It is. It helps us so much to know. And in fact, I printed those off and have them sitting in front of me. And obviously, we have to realize we cannot cover everything. We're not going to know every phrase, everything. But when people are in doubt, which reminds me, I need to send you a video. But when people are in doubt, what can they do to make sure that they're not putting it out there and then, like you said, having to turn around and just take it back down?
They can send anything to me. I am happy to review anything ahead of time and just give pointers. I don't want to completely shut anybody down. So I always try to give options on, I would prefer you take this out, but here's a compliant way of how you could say it. So compliance@reliveinc.com is email, and I am more than happy to take a look at anything. I try to get back to everybody within the day, but I occasionally might need an extra day to review something depending on the length.
What's really interesting is some of that stuff, and here's what I really want to get across to distributors is looking at some of that stuff on that do's and don'ts and some of the verbiage. Honestly, some of the verbiage was more powerful what you could say than what you couldn't say, because it was talking. I mean, you can actually talk about a person's life instead of a diagnosis, which doesn't talk to somebody's heart anyway. So if you are a distributor, sharing with anybody, whether you're sharing in person or sharing online or whatever, print off those sheets, because they are fantastic they'll give you ideas as well, but they are fantastic for giving you what you can say, but you'd be surprised at what you can say and really how powerful those terms can be to really share the hope of Relive with people.
Exactly. I mean, I still reference those every single day. I keep them right by my side, and they're so helpful. And like you said, when you start using certain terms and talking about specific diagnoses and you know, if you're offering a cure or, you know, hope that is too far-fetched, it's going to turn people off. So you really want to keep it realistic, and that's part of being compliant. And the more realistic you are with somebody, the more it's going to resonate with them. And the more you use those terms, it will resonate more with them.
Exactly. And like you said, it's something that we should always be checking back with too, because you said as it's not a static rule. Things change in the industry as we go along. I mean, it was a lot different 30 years ago than it is today.
Yeah.
Is there anything
Exactly. No, I mean, I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm always available if anybody needs anything, even if it's just a quick blurb you want to run by me. If you're going to do a video and, you know, you've got some questions, I'm always happy to help.
Awesome. See, you guys, compliance is not a monster in Relive. She is fantastic in there to help us. Angela, thank you, especially for taking the time to come on a Saturday too. We really appreciate it because we know how busy you are.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. And I know everybody out there is trying really hard, and I appreciate all of our distributors and everything that you guys are doing too. I mean, fantastic job for all of you.
Thanks so much, Angela. And
Thank you.
go to somebody who is one of those distributors who's working really hard. In fact, our newest global ambassador just reached it. And Lauren Dorman, if you could come on and share how Relive has blessed you, you know, the products and the business. And I would like to ask you a few questions.
Oh, sure. Thanks for having me, Pam. Well, I've been with Relive for 11 years now, and the journey has just been beautiful. As you know, so many people we meet along the way, friendships, and it's just been a really, really great blessing. It's blessed my family's health. It's blessed, you know, their businesses. So it's been like I said, a great blessing. Recently, as I was sharing, last month, my husband and I got COVID. And it was a kind of scary time because Dan, he ended up going in the hospital with double pneumonia. And the blessing is that we really could get his inflammatory markers down. And in fact, the doctor had said, because at first his inflammatory markers were really high, and Dan was telling the doctor, you know, I take all these products every day. How can that be? And the doctor looked at him and said, if you didn't take these products, that you would have been dead. So again, just another blessing. And that was the second month I was working for a global ambassador. And that just hearing that phrase just really, really inspired me just to go out of my comfort zone and talk to more people. And it was really, really a wonderful month. One of the things that I do to share with the customers and my distributors is that my background is teaching. So that's my first love. I just am drawn to teaching. And so I feel that if my distributors and even my customers knew what these products, what really sets them apart, then we'll have them long term. So they'll be long-term users because there are so many choices on the market. So for instance, I create these educational emails. So in using Peter Griscom's emails, I know they're compliant and they help me as a springboard. So for instance, I'll share what I did last week. So say the product weight loss. There's 45 billion people in the United States right now wanting to lose weight. So we know the market is there. Now, anyone that wants to lose weight, they might start looking at products to assist them. Well, if you walk into any store or on Amazon, there are so many choices. Like, how do you know what to purchase? So I feel like if we can just help the customer understand what to look for and then show our product and what sets our product apart, it will help them and it'll help my distributors as well. So we talked about active. So what Peter was saying, when you're looking for a protein shake for weight loss, and he made sure that he was clear on weight loss, there are three primary things to look for. Number one, calories. and the calories should be under 100 calories for a good weight loss protein shake. Number two, the amount of protein that's in, and that was under the calories as well, that the calories should be coming from protein. And the protein should be around 10 grams, but ideally 15 grams. Then you're getting into the really gold standard of protein drinks. And the third was a list of, or actually the second was a list of nutrients, because as we're decreasing our food intake, we know we're going to be eating less nutrients. So we want to make sure everything that we're putting in our mouth is counting towards nourishing our body, because if we don't get those nutrients, we're going to start having low energy, brain fog, and all those other things. And then lastly, he says, it has to taste good, because if it doesn't taste good, you're not going to be consistent and it's not going to help. So I just took that information and showed how active met all three of those things. We were 100 calories, we were actually 15 grams of protein, and we had 24 nutrients in there that, and then I also, in this email, I just shared a couple other products that go, okay, well, let's do some comparison, what's popular in the market and how really those don't meet that criteria. So then I feel like, okay, now my customers, I can give these to the customers, I can give them to my distributors, and they can have a better informed choice and say it. So that has really worked well for me over the years, that it's a way to keep connected with the distributors and my customers, and they'll often write back, what do you think about this? Would this work in this situation? Can my 14-year-old daughter take it? So it's a way to really keep connected. So it's just really worked well.
Well, what I love about it too, you can use it even more, not just even as a way to be connected. First of all, the one thing I would say is, with what Angela said and what you're talking about, if you are not on the Relive email blast list, that's the number one step right there. You need to get on the blast list so you know all this stuff is going on. But then you need to take the time, and we're going to cover this actually in the rest of the training, about knowing what's going on with Relive. And those videos with Peter Grissom, some people have said, well, I'll just share the video. You can do that, but that doesn't make you the expert.
Right.
Doing, Lauren, is fantastic. I will watch one of those videos and take notes, and I will write down, because you could literally get enough for probably 4 or 5 emails with the amount of information that Peter gives us in those videos.
Right. It's so true.
And it's all, like you said, it's all compliant. So what happens is you become the expert. So people buy from you because they trust you. People think you're the expert. So what you're doing is showing you're the expert, and you are helping them with what they are looking for. So right. I love what you're doing, Lauren. It's such a good example of utilizing them. I know there's a new one that just came out that I have not had a chance to even look at yet. I'm excited about, with training with the Relive and stuff with Peter. So I'm really excited about that. But yeah, and the other thing is too, when you were, quote unquote, like you said, you were going for global ambassador, share a little bit about your mindset, because a mindset to build a business is crucial. So if you could just share a little bit about when you decided you were going to do this, what was the mindset like?
Oh, it was like a roller coaster, because we started planning in late summer about what, how we were going to launch our plan. So September just pretty much went, I would say, pretty much perfectly. Like it was just as planned. The first week of October, that's when we were diagnosed, and we were just sick sounding. So it's like I wasn't going to pick up a phone call and start. How do you promote health when I couldn't even stand up? So, and my husband was even worse. And of course, as he got sicker, and he has a dental practice, so there was so much going on. When the dentist isn't there, how does the practice run? So we were like, there was just so much other things going on that we were working with the staff, because we wanted to keep them working as much as possible so they didn't lose income. So anyways, it was just a huge distraction. So then when we finally kind of came out of it, we were already October 14th, and the volume wasn't there, and I was pretty much giving up. I even called my upline and said, you know what, I guess it wasn't meant to be. And it was funny, because it was actually my daughter. She was at a job, and they work with commission, and something happened to her. She said, I could just quit, or I could, because she rides horses. She said, or I can just get back on that horse again and go for it. And something about that just struck me, like, here's my daughter, like, I should be doing that. And of course, with Dan, with that phrase that the doctor said, I just got out of my comfort zone. And oh my goodness, I'm not one to really pick up the phone and encourage people to buy products, but I just pushed myself. And it was amazing because just saying a prayer before, I called a customer who had just ordered the month before. And he's like, you know what? I want more stuff. I want to have some on my shelf. So it's like, cha-ching, so it was a lot of, that be bold and what I really realized, Pam, is that attitude is everything. Like, oh my goodness, like if you go into something, if you approach somebody or whatever with a good attitude, instead of being, no, they're not going to want anything, they bought last month, and but no, if be strong, be bold, and be confident. And it changed everything. It just changed. It was just like, I couldn't believe how just from that day 14 on, how everything fell in place. And we were just so excited about it.
Well, and it's kind of like what you said, be bold, be confident. And part of that is, what you have a hold of.
Yes.
Why wouldn't people want more product? Why wouldn't people want more Relive?
Right.
So it really is, it's an attitude, and it's making that decision you're going to do it. And goodness for your daughter,
Yes, yeah, you're right.
And I'll have to meet her someday, because if she rides horses, but
I know, I see her videos. I think about you all the time when she's riding. Yeah, that's great. Great exercise.
It's that attitude, and that's what moves your business forward. Lauren, thank you so much for taking the time to come.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Hey, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
The newest global ambassador. Way to go, girl.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I love Relive.
Exactly. Now we just share that love of Relive with people.
Right. Absolutely. So you
Thanks
take
so
care.
much,
Thank
Lauren.
you.
So we're going to go into just some really quick training. We talked about the compliance, and really what we were talking about with Lauren is the step one is make a decision. Make a decision to move your business forward. What's your why? What is your driving force behind moving your Relive business forward? And then use that driving force to commit to yourself. It's deciding that I'm going to do this. Now make that commitment to yourself. It's like, this adage has been used a lot, but when we get married, we don't say, okay, we're going to try this for a year and see how it goes. When you make that decision to move your business forward, you make that commitment to yourself to do the things it takes. As Lauren was saying, to be bold, take action, and then be teachable. Because this business is learned. Lauren said she's from the teacher background. That's really what we become, is teachers. We're educators to people about what's possible with Relive, but we can't educate something we don't know ourselves. So when you become teachable and are willing to learn, and this is a constant, we're always learning. It's why professions require continuing education requirements, because we are always learning. It never stops. So make sure that you're always open to learning what's possible and how to do this. And if you're been in the Relive like me, I've been in it, over 20 plus years. It really doesn't change the steps we take and the attitude we take. The tools we have are fantastic. We have so many more tools, but the actions that you take about getting together with people and letting them know Relive exists, educating them about what's possible with the products in the business, that's the same. That hasn't changed. The tools you're using to do it in some ways may have changed, but that basic, just letting people know Relive exists, showing them how it can meet their needs, and then helping them meet those needs, whether it's health-wise or finance-wise, that really hasn't changed. So then you made that decision. Now go get it. The 3 C's of life are choices, chances, and changes. So you've got to make the choice to take a chance if you want anything in life to change. Lauren took a chance when she started calling people. She decided to be bold, but that's how she got the change in her income. And we're going to cover a little bit about XR. Again, like I said, taking action. That's the #1 requirement. Take action. You want to know the current Relive. And what that is that's being plugged in. That's staying connected. We've got engaged videos. We've got the Peter Grissom videos. If you see the positively charged elements, we've got the Monday night commit to success call. We've got that presentation on Tuesday nights, that coffee chat, which is so much fun on Wednesday mornings, the short and sweet call. 15 minutes, fantastic stories. And then we've got this training webinar. How much of it are you plugging in to grow yourself? Now, and there's other options too. We've got the podcast, the compliance emails, all of that stuff that's there for you to know the current Relive and know what's going on, and also to know what's possible, because those stories help you know what's possible. I want to stress that just plugging into these elements does not build your business. And I want to stress that. That's growing you, which is fantastic, because this is also a personal growth business. And knowing Relive better and better is always good. But until you start connecting people into these elements, until you start letting people know Relive exists and helping them get results with Relive, products or business, that's what grows your business. Just plugging into these, which is fantastic so you can grow yourself, is not going to build your business. But connecting people to it with you will build your business. Why the stories? We have not gotten away from the stories. And why the stories? Because the stories speak to people's hearts. It's like I was talking about those compliance verbiage that, Angela provided for us. They were so much more communicative of what's possible for somebody, because diagnoses don't talk to people. And actually, actual dollars don't talk to people. But what happens with somebody's life because of these products or because of this business, that talks to people. Because that's what people are looking for. How can this help me? And sharing with the stories of what's happened for people, even in compliance, you will talk to people's hearts, not their heads. People move forward when you make them feel attached, when they think, when they trust, when they feel that this is going to make a difference in their life or their loved one's life. And that's why we have the stories. And we're going to talk about XR. It's just basically the basic steps to take to build your Relive business. Identify where to find new people. The biggest question to ask is, whose needs can you meet? Because meeting people's needs is what builds this business. But if you're never listening, if you're just looking for people who can build your business, who can make me money, who I can get money from because they bought the products, that's not going to build your business. But if you truly start looking at people's pain points, is what we call it. People have needs, their needs and wants and desires in their life. And how you're going to meet those is knowing those and then sharing with them how Relive can meet that. And they're everywhere. New people can even be old people, people who are on Relive before. They understand the value of Relive. Networking groups, ads, booths, social media, friends, family. There's opportune moments as you're meeting people. We're getting more and more out there. Who do you have for neighbors, classmates? There's a lot of class reunions getting back together again now. Who do you write checks to? You had a list way back when you got started. Go back to that list. Did you really talk to everybody? And if you talk to everybody, has their life changed now? Because people's needs change over time. And interest groups, there's all kinds of things. If you're on social media, are you into some interest groups? And then those people that you think of, write them down. You should always have a living, growing list of people, because there's always somebody who needs to hear about Relive. If you don't write them down, though, as you get busy sharing with somebody, you may forget them. So always write it down. Always have somewhere where you can keep track of somebody that pops into your head. And if you can, write down why they popped into your head. And then you're going to connect with them. What that means is just thinking about them and hoping and wishing and dreaming doesn't work, but connecting with them. And when you connect with them, the biggest thing is be yourself. Everybody has a different personality, and you're going to connect with people differently. Then I'm going to connect with people differently than you're going to connect with people. My personality is different than yours. But if you're yourself, people move forward when they know, like, and trust you. And how they're going to do that is by seeing you. So you want to be transparent. And this is if you're talking to people in person or if you're doing things in social media and online. It doesn't change. Being excited, what does that mean? That's different for everybody too. Everybody's excitement level, or what it looks like when they're excited, is different. I'm not a Tom Pinnock and I'm not a Mindy Jones, but when I get excited, you can tell, because that's how I get excited. So it's being excited, and how you get excited is really understanding what's possible with Relive. And that's by plugging in. And then make sure when you're connecting with them, the focus is on them. How are you bringing them value? Relive has a lot to offer, but what are you bringing to value for them, not for you? Focus on what it can do for them, because that's what people really care about, is how can this help me, whether with my health or with my finances. Sometimes it's even that social aspect of getting together with people. So remember to keep the focus on them, and then meet them where they're at. And then you're going to share. You're going to share with them how Relive can make a difference in their life, how Relive can meet their pain point. You're going to share the Relive story. A lot of people want to know how Relive got started, but really not everybody. What you really want to show them and present to them in different ways is the vision of Relive for them. How Relive is bringing value to their life, how it's addressing pain points and needs that they have, and addressing that whole picture of Relive, because very often a lot of people don't even realize the pain points they have. When we talk about the whole picture of Relive, I'm talking about sharing the products, sharing the business, sharing everything that's a part of Relive. Do you have to do it all in once? No, not necessarily, but it's exposing people to the elements of Relive and what's possible with Relive in all realms, with the products and the business. The Collaborators Foundation, that's going on right now. Don't forget about, there is a matching challenge right now. All donations to the Collaborators Foundation through the end of November will be matched. So you want to make sure that, and that may speak to somebody, that may be the first reason people get involved with Relive, is because of that. You never know what's going to speak to people about Relive. So how do you share with people? Really, it's pretty much the same way you're growing yourself and knowing the current Relive. It's getting them connected into the elements. It's sharing pieces of those elements. Again, you look at the positively charged elements we have. Monday night committed success call. The presentations on Tuesday night are fantastic, half an hour. Wednesday coffee chat, where people get a chance to hear stories. Again, Thursday night, they get a chance to hear stories. The Saturday morning trainings. There's other things that are obvious too. The Peter Grissom videos. Yes, you can share them, but I would take pieces of it and share the stuff yourself. The Champions Challenge, the Fit Through Champions Challenge. We've got a Facebook page. There's a lot of different ways you can share the information, and you can show people how Relive can benefit them. And different people are going to take information in differently. Different people prefer to get information in different ways. It's not a bad idea to ask them, how do you prefer information? Should we set up a phone call, or should we do a Zoom, or should I text you? Find out from them what works best for them. They're going to be far more likely to take a look at the information that you send them and know that you are interested in them and not in yourself. And then ask for a decision. What is their need? How can Relive meet their needs? Where does Relive fit in with them? Where do you see yourself getting started with Relive? What do you see the benefits of Relive? A lot of times after somebody's listened to stories, I'll ask, what did you like about what you heard? Just get them discussing what their thoughts are about where Relive can meet their needs. And then you can move forward from there. But until you know what they're thinking, until you know what's going on in their head, you're not going to be able to move forward from there. The key though, you guys, is to ask. A lot of times people will just keep putting information in somebody and never ask for a decision, never ask for them to move forward. And it never happens because they don't get that last little oomph, the last little push to move forward with Relive. So make sure that you're bold enough, as Lauren was talking about, to ask as well. Ask for a decision. Where do you see yourself getting started with Relive? Where do you see Relive helping you? Ask for that decision. And then when they make that decision, whatever it is, because any decision to get started with Relive is a good decision. When they make that decision, you're going to help them get registered, show them the options, customer, preferred customer, distributor, what it is that they're looking for, what option meets their needs the best, and then help them get registered, do it with them, and go forward. Set them up for the customer care. Let them know this isn't just about putting you on product. This isn't just about signing you up as a distributor. I'm going to be there right by your side to help you get results, whether it's with the products, the business, whatever it is. But let them know that this isn't something they're going alone. And what's that customer care? That customer, and everybody's a customer, whether they're a distributor or a preferred customer or just regular customer, they're still a customer. because they are utilizing these products. So they are still a customer. So this customer care is for everybody that is involved with Relive. But take an interest in them and what their goals are. What you're going to do is when you know their goals and you know their needs, you can broaden their understanding of Relive possibilities with that through the stories. You can broaden their understanding of what's possible, maybe of a need they didn't know. I had a lady looking at the products way back who didn't realize that she actually wanted to do the business as well. But because she heard the stories, she did move forward with the business because of the results she got. So you're helping people fall in love with Relive. And I love the way Lauren was talking about, there isn't anybody who wouldn't move forward if they could truly understand what's possible with Relive. And that's what you're doing with this customer care, is you continue to educate them about the possibilities of Relive. You're helping them fall in love with Relive. And when they fall in love with Relive, they stick around. You're painting a vision of the possibilities of the future. And then you're helping them achieve that vision. It's continuing education is really what it is. Education about the possibilities of Relive. Care enough about them and helping them get their results and helping them understand what's possible. And your needs are going to eventually be met. It's just going to happen, because not only will they be excited about the results they've got, but referrals happen. Distributors get going. People who've been on these products and getting great results become distributors and share with other people. I've got somebody doing that right now down in Atlanta, who's all of a sudden on fire because of what these products can do. And already has sponsored 3 people, in less than a week. So you never know what can happen. But if you don't care about them and helping them reach their needs, it's not going to come back to you. So again, it's all where your focus is. Stay consistent. If you do something with Relive every day, and I would say stay consistent on the income producing activities. And what is that? It's letting people know about the possibilities of Relive and then helping them move forward with it, helping them fall in love with Relive. So I would say it's talking to new people, and then it's helping those people who are moving forward with Relive get the results that they're looking for. But if you make a long-term commitment to this business of doing the things that need to be done each and every day, even if it's just a little bit, there's no excuses. Lauren Dorman, you heard what went on with her in October. There's no excuses to say, oh, I'm too busy. It's your priorities and what you do every single day and what your calendar looks like. Show where your priorities are. Is building this business a priority for you? If it's a priority, even if it's just 15 minutes a day, you're going to make a long-term commitment to do something with it every single day, even if it's just 15 minutes a day. But what happens when you do that is it grows. It will move forward. And that's what that commitment's going to do for you. So we have, the cool part about Relive is it's a very simple business to do. It really is. You just need to make that commitment to yourself to help other people feel better, have better finances, whatever it is they're looking for, help them meet their needs, and your needs are going to be met. We're going to change some lives. Let's go do it.